is that this mine could just collapse.
Welcome back to Rock Center. The skyrocketing price of gold of late has driven some of the poorest people on Earth to desperate measures to dig it out of the ground. For just a fraction of what the gold will fetch on the open market, children are pulled from school in many cases to work and then exposed to poisons in the process. To follow the gold trail from its very beginning, Richard Engel went down underground in the African nation of Mali.
This is the first step in getting artisanal gold out of the ground, digging a manhole-sized pit 20 feet straight down.
Looks like hard work. Sweating just sitting here looking at him.
The more treacherous mines go 6 times deeper, and they pockmark this entire area.
Ça va? I'm going to go down, but let me check the rope first, okay? And you guys, don't drop me, okay?
To get to the bottom, I would take all the protection I could get, except for my shoes.
What's wrong with the shoes?
No way is he going in with shoes, because it will bring us bad luck and we won't find any gold.
But my feet aren't as strong as your feet. I think I'm going to hurt myself if I don't go in with shoes.
Yeah, it's a spiritual problem for us.
It's a spiritual problem to go down with the shoes. Oh. All right, well, I don't want to upset the spirits. I'll go down with no shoes. But now I need good spirits, okay?
Tell him to hurry up. They are wasting my time, and it's getting late.
All right.
The first couple of steps look easy, with carved footholds to climb down.
Okay, a little more rope. See if I can find another foothold.
But 20 feet down, the footholds suddenly stop.
There are no more footholds. So I've been pushing my weight against the other side and using the rope a little bit.
Okay, almost there. Oh, there's the bottom.
Wishful thinking. In reality, I still had a long way to go.
All right, I got to go down to another level. Slowly, slowly. And I just lower myself. Make a little toe hole here.
Okay. I think I've made it. Wow. I think they've broken into another mine over here. It's like a beehive. Saba, how are you, gentlemen? You good?
I finally now made it to the bottom. There are 6 workers down here with picks chipping into the rock. There's some very, very primitive wooden supports to try and keep this mine apart. Aside from the rock, the rest of the surface is just soft mud. And a big concern, at least that I have, is that this mine could just collapse. They're digging right underneath these wooden supports, just wood logs pressed together. Part of it held up by a plastic bottle. You want me to do it? Okay. All right.
Once I made it to the belly of the beast, 8 stories down, I had to pitch in.
There we go. Good? All right. Is there gold in this? Il y a de l'or? You sure? There's gold in this. And there goes the bag. The entire time, little bits of rock and mud have been falling down onto us. I hope it doesn't, but I'm very worried that this mine is going to collapse on you. I'm going to get out of here.
Easier said than done.
Oh, gosh. There's really nothing to hold on to here. Okay. I can see the light. There are the handholds. Okay. All right. Let's go.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was a one-time experience. It is very, very deep. The sides are smooth. The ceiling continues to cave in the entire time around you. They're digging sideways, not just down. And it is thoroughly exhausting. My hat's off to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is very difficult.
And very deadly. 2 days before we arrived, the miners told me they pulled out a young man who had suffocated deep underground. But that didn't stop my mining partner from going back in.
You went to the bottom of the mine. Did you think you were going to die today?
I don't care if I die or not. All I care about now is finding gold.
This is the next stop on the gold supply chain. local middlemen who buy up the 4 tons of artisanal gold that Mali produces every year.
This is about $7,000 worth of gold. It's not as crude as what the villagers produce. This has all the iron removed, it has all the mercury removed, it is just pure gold. Do you think the system is functioning well for the people working underground with their hands and with shovels to produce ultimately the gold that's in front of you?
Because gold prices are so high, they can make a lot of money. But how they divide it amongst themselves, it's none of my business.
That's the refrain you hear all along the gold supply chain, from these dusty streets to the international gold traders who buy artisanal gold.
Switzerland and Dubai are sort of the main destinations, but there are many other countries as well. Belgium, Spain, Portugal, the US. About 12% of global gold production comes actually from artisanal gold mining. So it's not the majority of the gold, but at the same time it is a significant proportion.
And then what happens? Once it reaches an international hub, is the gold just all mixed together and no one knows where it came from?
Yes, it does actually get mixed, and obviously it gets also further refined and then until it reaches the retailers and the shops.
But this year, for the first time, British retailers can begin to know exactly where their gold is coming from, and they can sell jewelry made from so-called fair trade gold.
Why would I want to exchange a wedding ring with my lovey-dovey spouse and that gold in that ring? That could have created 2 to 3 tons of toxic waste.
Greg Valerio helped set up the fair trade system in Britain, which supplies gold produced by artisanal miners willing to reduce their mercury use and stop child labor in exchange for a higher price. Now he's come to work with jewelers in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
If you really want to drive change on the ground in continents like Africa, we have to get the Americans really engaged. So for me, it's an absolute no-brainer, because the American consumer consumes the most amount of jewelry of any country in the world.
Valerio is trying to convince American jewelers to adopt the same system, because right now they have no way of knowing if the gold they're working with was produced under the terrible conditions we saw.
The consumer needs to drive the change by asking for traceable gold. We need the jewelers to ask their suppliers, where does your gold come from? The problem that you have, there's no need to disclose where it comes from.
But children like Samba can tell you where it's coming from. After a long day pulling rocks up from the mines, he stands in line waiting for his pay dirt. 2 buckets full that he hopes contain some gold ore.
I have no idea how much I'll make because we are paid in debt. After I wash and refine it, I'll get paid for the gold that might be inside. That's it.
Samba sleeps in this plastic hut 200 miles from his family, right next to the machine that will grind down his gold and his life.
The main reason I left home is to help my parents, and sending them money is my main goal.
And we're joined here in the studio by Richard Engel. At least you had the experience in tanks and war zones to know you're not claustrophobic. But look at how it wore you out. Think of the work these kids are doing.
Most of the people who go down deep into the mines aren't the youngest children. It is just too difficult work. But the children, sometimes 5, 6, 7 years old, are the ones who are pulling the rocks out. And many of them hope that when they get older, they can go down and work in the mines and dig these shafts that go down 8, sometimes 9 stories down.
Now, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, people, when they have a choice, try to be good-hearted. They try to be good consumers. So how do you know when these specks get melted down and go out into the larger world?
Well, in this country, you don't know, because there's no system in place to find out if your gold watch band or your wedding ring came from a place like this. Because really, most people aren't asking. The gold comes out of the ground, as the report said, 12% roughly of the world's gold from small mines like this. And then it gets all mixed together, put into gold bars, and then distributed. So you don't know. What would be required is people to start asking these questions and to demand a supply chain so that they know exactly where it came from, the country of origin, and the kind of practices that are used.
Richard Engel, thank you very much for your reporting tonight. Of course, the effort goes on to track this gold down. A lot of folks who see this story are probably going to try to want to know about finding out where your gold comes from that you buy, and trying to buy gold that has been mined responsibly. We have much more